What's up, everybody? This is Robert, and you are listening to Dads in Real Life podcast. We are two dads, 10 years apart, talking all things fatherhood, from diapers to dream projects and everything in between. Today's episode is short, sweet, and a little different. Between busy schedules and school pickup lines, Robert and Travis pause to reflect on what it really means for dads to rest and recover.
Or just, as guys, we don't often take the time to talk. Like really talk, especially as dads with younger kids.
This podcast is provided ad-free thanks to listener support. Go to patreon.com/dads in real life to help keep it independent and to get exclusive access to live streams, behind the scenes, and more content every month.
Rob just got home from a workout.
Not true. I got home from meetings, but not a workout. Okay, Travis, another episode. We're in the mid 30s, high 30s, probably. Actually, high 30s, probably 37, 38 now. So what's on the menu? What are two dads riffing about before we go to the pickup line? That's basically what we do.
Let me tell you what we're riffing on today. We got two little dabbling areas just to make it fun. And then we might insult a few people while we're at it. And then we're going to talk about today. We are going to talk about
what's the meat and potatoes.
We didn't do it last time. So actually, I'm going to tell you, it's going to be a mystery. It's going to be a little bit of a mystery because we only have so much time. You know what?
If parenting doesn't keep me on my toes enough, Travis,
we're gonna talk about campfires. That's what we're gonna talk about today. I just changed my mind, and we still might insult some people just for for fun.
Got it.
Okay. All right. So today's little bit of fun before we dive in is I want us to generalize a description of a handful of states in just a few words. So this is like, I was just going to read off the list and we have like 5 seconds, but even if you spend like 5 seconds on 50 states, that's still just like a lot of seconds. So we won't do all of them. We'll do some.
Not only that, you're assuming that I, one, have knowledge of all of these states, and two, some form of experience being in them. But I'll do my best.
No.
Spoiler alert.
You don't have to have any experience. We're going completely off of stereotypes. Okay.
Okay. Although, with middle schoolers and elementary, we do a lot of capitals and states throughout the year. So there's that.
There you go. Okay. So I'm going to give you an example.
Please.
We're going to start with Nevada.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So when you think of Nevada, so I'm going to generalize a description for you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. For a few words about Nevada. Flat, empty, boring, and Las Vegas.
That's what I would have said.
That's it. So that's
broken heart and lost dreams. That's Nevada.
Yep. There's Las Vegas and there's literally nothing else. Sorry, everybody who lives in Nevada. I don't think anybody lives in Nevada.
Reno.
I think it was just like if it was to fall through the US like down into a hole, we'd be like, oh, there's Las Vegas down there. And
another thing about Nevada that if I were to go back and realize, and it's just personal experience, it's like you have conferences, right? Or workshops. And if you couldn't get A tier, right? Like S tier Vegas, you go to Reno. Like that's like B tier, right? Like, we could still do it. All 12 of us. We came for a seminar, all 12.
That's it. Yeah. So that's your example. All right.
Okay.
So how about we swap off? Okay. Like I'll give you a state and then you do something with it. And then you do the same.
Okay.
All right.
I'm not going to say I'm not looking for AI to help, but we'll see.
No, you're not allowed to do that. Okay. And I really don't know anything about the East Coast. So I'm going to give you an East Coast one and
that works.
We'll start off easy. Okay. New York,
busy city. I would say dirty, right? Depending on where you're at. Lots of energy. That's what I'm gonna
Yep. Because you think of New York City for sure.
I think of the city, right? I think of like where what is that show? TRL. Remember back in the day when MTV played music?
Yeah.
Right? Like that's what I think of. I think of like New Year's Eve, right? The ball dropping.
Yep, people like peeing in the street
for some
because they have to
reason.
wait there
Ryan
for like 8 days.
Seacrest comes to mind, right? Ryan Seacrest.
Totally. This is fun.
Okay,
we're gonna leave it at that. Like, I'm not gonna add anything. I think.
Gotcha.
Like,
okay.
I
got one. I got
Okay.
one on the West Coast now.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Portland, right? Or actually,
Portland.
that would
Oh, you
be
gotta say
Oregon.
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 You
Let's
have
do
to say
Oregon.
Oregon.
Edit
Yeah,
that
yeah,
out.
yeah.
Oregon.
Okay. Yeah. Oregon. Um, green,
Hmm.
rainy, but not as rainy as the one above it.
Gotcha.
And hipster. Coffee,
Hmm. Hmm.
logging.
Gotcha.
That's I
I
think
like it.
that's where I'm
I
gonna
like
land
that.
it.
I like that. I like that. Coffee for sure. I've made some road trips up there for coffee. So,
Yeah. I've been to Portland and it was fun. For the coffee
hmm,
experience, great.
I always refer to Portlandia, the TV show, when I think about Portland. If you've
Oh,
never seen
yeah.
it,
See, and I
yeah.
didn't watch that one. I did not see that.
Ooh, well,
Should
you
I watch
got there's
it?
probably on whatever streaming you guys are subscribing to. Look it up. It's pretty funny,
Yeah.
especially if
Oh,
you're
yeah.
an if you're an SNL fan. Then I would
Mhm.
definitely check that out. So,
Mhm. Okay. All right. Let's give you a new one. Uh, Montana.
uh, Montana would be mountains, cold. I think horses, a
Mhm.
lot of ranching. And I think it's like the new Orange County. That's what I think Montana is. Like,
What?
what's the city? Bozeman? Is that a city?
Bozeman,
I'm not
Montana.
sure.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah, yeah.
for some reason, over like the last, I'd say 5 to 8 years, everyone who I've known who's kind of like retired or walked away from the hustle life are now in Montana, right? They're either trying to ranch,
Interesting.
um, which for the most part didn't go well, right? Like, oh, you know what? I think I'm going to love this ranch life. Getting up at 3 o'clock to take care of animals. Didn't think about that.
Yeah, it
So
sounds fun.
yeah, exactly.
Yep.
So that's what I kind of when I think of Montana.
Yeah, that's what I had on mine, mountains, ranching, and hunting.
Gotcha.
I think if you live in Montana, I think it's required that you hunt. Like, I think you have to hunt at least
I
50% of your food.
maybe it comes before your driver's license. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
I got one for you. Florida.
Florida. I'm thinking okay, so I'm thinking, yeah, hot, sticky, beaches, dancing, golf.
Gotcha. I always
That's
think growing up on the East Coast, Epcot Center, like that's where Disney World is, right? So that always kind of seared into my memory as far as Florida,
yes. Yep,
right? Road
yep,
trips down to Disney World.
true. Crocodiles.
Swamps, lots of swamps.
Don't get eaten before you get to Disneyland. It'll ruin your
Mm,
trip.
yeah, it would be cheaper though.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's see. That was fun. That was fun. How about Louisiana?
I always think coastal. I think New Orleans. I think food, lots of food. If you're a foodie, I think food. Hot and swampy and sweaty again,
Yeah,
as
I was
far as
gonna
just
say hot and
climate.
sticky for sure.
Yeah, hot and sticky. But I always go back to food. The one time that the beignets. One time I visited you got to get the hookup with the beignets.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay, I got one. Let's see. Okay, a little bit of a curveball, right?
Okay.
Let's say Illinois.
Illinois.
Illinois,
Um,
Great Lakes area.
here's the crazy thing. Some of you might not know this, but Chicago is in Illinois.
That is true.
So I know I know that. Here's what I know. From what I hear, I got a friend or two in Illinois. Um, farming,
Mhm.
uh, as far as I know, it's pretty flat, I think. Illinois is
Mhm.
just like, well, like Rolling Hill, maybe. I don't know. Chicago. So
Mhm.
Illinois, I mean, yeah, again, it's like Las Vegas. Chicago's the
Mhm.
Las Vegas of
Of
Illinois.
Illinois. So that
You
that
know.
could that could be very well true. Yeah.
Um, and so you got farming and you got a bunch of people in Chicago.
I got
And
one for you. I think deep dish.
deep dish. Yes, 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 yes. The pizza, of course.
Mhm.
Come on.
Come
Yep.
on.
Yep. Um, yeah, I feel like if I was ever gonna run into the Dave Portnoy guy who does
Mhm.
the pizza
It'd be in
ratings and
Chicago.
everything
Yeah,
else,
be in Chicago.
he'd be in Chicago.
Mhm.
So
Although I don't know if he's the biggest fan of deep dish.
I
Not
don't
sure.
maybe not. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. So you're right. Maybe not. Maybe he's not there.
don't know.
So yeah, Chicago. That's all I got about Illinois.
That was enough.
Yeah.
Right? I was thinking about Chicago. I think of also St. Patty's Day where they literally dye
By the
the
River
river.
Green.
Yes, that's what I think
Yeah, that's pretty special. That's fun.
of. Mhm.
Okay. I'll give you one more
Okay,
and then we'll move along. Okay.
sounds good.
Here you go. Let's go. You know what? I'm gonna nod to my parents, okay? Idaho. They out
Idaho.
there. They out there.
Idaho is where everyone from California has moved over the last 5 years. Like,
Correct.
that's where I feel like people have gone to is Idaho. I think more like suburbs, if you look at that kinda stereotype, um, Hallmark card for fall season, I think Idaho. Like, that's where I think that framed picture of the family playing in the leaves in the front yard, that's what I think about Idaho. So,
There you go. And you can't forget potatoes.
obviously, potatoes, that's where they come from.
Potatoes.
Yeah.
I haven't been to northern Idaho. I've only been to the south, and you know what they're
Mhm.
missing that I think we're like that it makes NorCal the best spot to be is there are no trees. There's like just
Mm,
like no trees. And I'm like,
nowhere.
where's all the life? The life has been sucked out. It's
Not
all in
in
the potatoes.
northern Idaho. Not in northern Idaho.
Not in northern Idaho. That's what I hear. So I gotta go see the north part.
Gotcha.
But great. Well, thank you for playing. Thank you
Of
for
course.
playing, Rob.
I felt
Um,
good about that. I feel all those years of studying maps with my kids finally paid off.
yep.
And I'm glad you didn't ask any of the states that I have no clue about. So I appreciate that.
I got you. Yeah, yeah. Like if you had said Connecticut, I would have been like, uh, I don't even know what the shape of Connecticut is. I know it's small,
It's
right? It's
flat.
kind of
It,
small.
it looks it looks like a book from the side, right? If it's on your table, that's Connecticut.
That's Connecticut. And
Mhm.
and and the the those mountains that are on the East Coast, they go through there,
Yep.
but it's just like you could walk through Connecticut in a few minutes, right? There's like maybe like 7 people that live there.
It's it's quaint, yes, but it's all part of like the New England area, right? You
Yeah,
still
which
have the
you know that area, right?
yes,
Yeah.
yes. So you still get
What am I
great
missing about
seasons, great
Connecticut?
people. You pretty much summed it up.
Yeah.
You pretty much.
See, I told you we were gonna insult some people.
No,
So
actually, funny enough, we actually have neighbors that retired, I think like a year or two ago, and they moved to Connecticut. Yeah, they
oh,
did. They did. They moved to the Connecticut, and so
they
they
bought that
literally
5th house.
it's literally they could after selling a home here in Southern California, they're
Yep, they
set
bought half the
in
state.
Connecticut.
They bought half the state.
They bought Connecticut. They bought Connecticut. So yeah,
Oh,
please don't park
man.
on the lawn. Yes.
And then, yeah, and then if you talk about Californians, everybody else who lives everywhere else is like they're a bunch of snobs, bunch
Yep,
of
and
stuck up
that would also
West
be pretty
Coast.
accurate.
Yep,
Pretty
they're
accurate.
just jealous, you know.
Mhm. It's okay.
That's it. Yeah. So,
What
that's
most
perfect. That's exactly
this
where
is
I
gonna be
wanted
the
that.
most popular podcast yet, right? Let's
Yes,
let's
yes.
rub some
You gotta
feathers.
stir
Gotcha.
the pot so that people
Right.
people keep coming back
That's what
for
all
more.
the
'Cause it's fun.
influencers say. You gotta sit on a stool and bark out loud for what you believe in, and I believe nobody's in Connecticut. So
Rough, rough. There's your there you go.
nicely
Okay.
done. Nicely done.
So, we're hopping into our topic of the day because
Let's
we
go.
have a little bit of time. This is a
Mhm.
shorter podcast today because we got stuff to do as per
It's
the usual.
Friday, we
Guess
got
what?
pickups. It's
Yep.
popsicle day. I gotta show up a little early. So
Hey, but you know what? That's an important day,
it
and
is.
popsicle day could be the highlight of the week or the month.
And if I'm not well prepared, I will hear it for the whole weekend. So even though we have popsicles at home, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So, today I want to discuss a quote that I saw on the interwebs,
The
and
interweb.
I
Gotcha.
liked it. And it was just kind of like a nod to some of my past weekend. So I'll
Ooh,
share about what I've been up
nice.
to lately, but
Please.
also just worth noting and seeing what your opinions are. All right. The quote
And
was
real
this.
quick before we get in there, you're looking amazing. I can feel the energy exuding from the camera right now.
Wow.
The 75 hard is definitely doing some work. So
Oh my
quick
goodness.
little shout out on that. But yes, please continue.
Hey, you know what? I'm gonna take you up on it, and I'm gonna say something real quick about that.
Mhm.
Yeah, if you guys didn't hear him doing the 75 hard, slightly modified is what I say because I'm tracking my food. I'm not doing like a specific diet. But let me tell you this. I look forward to day 76 because I'm gonna take a protest a day of
I like
drinking
it.
0 water, and I'm
I was
gonna
just
be
gonna say,
happy
ask
about it.
Travis in the comments about his water. Just ask him about water.
It's
He's an expert by now, like,
so,
literally an expert.
so dumb. I'm a freaking fish. I'm a fish.
I
All I
can see the
do
gills. I can
Yeah,
see the
I got
gills.
it. I got it here, and, we're gonna talk about that in a little bit when it with the topic,
If
okay?
in the
With the
future.
10
Okay,
minutes that we
gotcha.
have left here, we're gonna talk about it. Yeah, yeah, I just reached a point today, okay? I'm pointing the finger at the camera right now, okay? I've reached a point today, I
He's
considered
protesting.
considered bringing empty bottles into the car with me so I can pee when I'm going places because
That's
I'm picking
literally how
kids
much
up,
water he's
and, like,
drinking.
literally every time I go anywhere, I'm sweating profusely because I gotta pee again. Okay, obviously, they're gonna say the haters out there are gonna say the supporters are gonna say this too, everybody is gonna say, "You're not sweating enough throughout the day." Well, it's not as hot as it was in the summer, and yeah, sometimes I gotta take a light day, I can't be sweating profusely every
You're not
day.
gonna sweat a gallon of water out, so you'll be fine.
Never, never. So, that's all I gotta say on that, okay? Alright.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
let me I'm gonna bring it back around, I
Let's
promise,
go.
okay? So, here we go. I'm drinking my coffee right now because I needed it because this is,
Mhm.
like, basically nap time in my brain. My brain's like, "Stop." And I was like, "Nope, we got a podcast
We
to
gotta
make."
keep going.
Okay? So, the quote is this. The quote is this:
Mhm.
"Sometimes men need to sit and stare at a fire to factory reset."
Mhm.
I'll read that again. Sometimes men need to sit and stare at a fire to factory reset. And I thought that's that has some merit to it.
Mhm.
Staring at a campfire is a beautiful thing. And I
Mhm.
thought I'd get your take on that. What's your experience staring at a campfire? And can
Often.
you relate to that?
Oh, for sure. You know what? I don't know
Doesn't have to
if
be a campfire either, just any fire, really, I think.
dumpster
Yeah, as long
fire.
as it's not your house burning.
Yeah, exactly. I would say I don't know if I would use the term factory reset, but I can say that staring at fire, both mesmerizing, can help you downshift or down regulate, if you want to use some words. And all that means is it's relaxing, right? And there's something nostalgic about that too, as far as a young man growing up on the East Coast and having a fireplace where we actually used it. That's where a lot of my fire staring actually started.
Yeah.
So I don't want to say it's escapism or I'm trying to get away from the stressors, but just being able to focus on one thing, doing its little dance, right? And you are bundled up in the cold. There's something relaxing about that. And I think a lot of dads can relate to like zoning out at that point and literally like everyone's barking and you don't hear anything. You almost need to be snapped back. But I wouldn't say factory reset, like you forget everything, but it is more like a pause, right? It's a great way to kind of pause, stay tuned after these messages. And like that's the point in time where I know for me growing up, no matter how stressful the day was or how stressful home life was, I could just sit there. And it's almost like you start to slow down, right? Everything slow down. I remember as a kid, even as an adult, watching the fire, for some reason, the playback would be in slow motion, right? So for me, that helped me slow down, calm down. And for camping, after a full day of hiking, stuff like that, that's also another way to fall asleep pretty quickly is to stare at a campfire. I can't tell you how many camp chairs I've fallen asleep in staring at a campfire. So how about you, Travis? Where are we at with the restart and the campfire?
That's bliss right there.
Mhm.
Falling asleep to a campfire. Woo! I've
Mhm.
always wanted to do the cowboy style, just like literally fall asleep right next to the campfire.
Mhm.
But there's like, I feel like there's a bit of what's is the right word, misnomer to that, or like basically, it's like walking in a field, right? You think about
Mhm.
like, oh, it'd be so cool to walk through a field, but I mean, generally speaking, if you're walking through like a wild field, you're getting
Yeah.
stickers. There's a bunch of bugs crawling all over you, and it's
Maybe
not like
not as
you can sit
majestic as it
down.
looks online. Yeah.
Yeah, 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 you're not gonna, like, lay down in that, like, it's just chaos, right? So, Same thing
just
with a fireplace.
smoke, that constant
Yeah,
smoke
you
that
get
for
the
some
smoke
reason
or
you're attracted to, no matter
yeah.
where you move around, that smoke just finds you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, like, if you fall asleep next to it, which I was literally thinking of doing this recently, but you get the ashes that pop out,
Yes,
and I got, like, a
just
number of
burn you.
outdoor jackets that have holes in them
Yep.
because it burnt a little hole in
Yeah.
there.
I've
So,
got a couple North Face jackets with clear holes through them, so
yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, it's funny. You unlocked a little memory for me there.
there you go.
With you said like your first experiences with looking at a fireplace were like in the house, and
Mhm,
the, that brought me right back to my grandparents' house where they had a fireplace,
mhm,
and they would always like that. We would always go there for like holidays and stuff, for at
mhm,
least half the
mhm.
day, and oh, yeah. I just loved staring at it as a kid, and so I feel like there's a little nostalgia in there too.
Oh, for sure.
Um, we're not using fires the same way people did way back when, but,
Mm.
you made a good point about I like how you this is great. Again, this is why I love you, Rob. You're like, "Hey, I wouldn't necessarily say factory reset,"
Reset,
right?
yeah.
Um, I think, yeah, no, I totally agree with you. I like that wording of slowing it down.
Yeah. It just maybe it's charging, right? Instead of factory reset, think of it like charging the battery, right? It
Yeah,
just slows everything down. I get a nice little trickle charge going,
yep.
good to go.
I bet you the people who wrote that would be like, "Oh, yeah, yeah, I
Yeah, it
agree."
makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So, yeah, I just went out camping this weekend,
Yeah, how was
and
the camp
so,
trip?
it was great besides the little story about the water, but we're gonna save that for a second,
I
okay? I'm not
like
gonna
the
get
little
distracted.
cliffhanger there, sir. That was
I'm
good.
not I'm not gonna get distracted, okay? So, um, campfires are great. I think
Mm,
we had some great campfires. It was, with some guys from our church, so there was, like, 25 guys there, and it was
nice.
fun because it was like we had a whole campsite to not campsite, we had a whole campground to ourselves,
Wow, just to the
basically.
crew.
Yeah,
Nice.
and so, it's always a magical thing. We go to the same spot each year. We got the hookups through a guy who it's an employee type of
Mhm.
campground, and, you have the whole, like, lake to yourself, and it's, like, an hour drive depending on where you're going
Oh,
from coming
perfect.
from. So, it's fantastic, but, um, it always encourages as guys, we don't often take the time to talk,
Yeah.
like, really talk, like,
Yep.
especially as dads with younger kids or just kids that are not teenagers yet.
Mhm.
It's just you're just you're just always just busting forward or managing chaos, and so I feel like you don't have quite as much time to engage with your buddies even, like,
Yeah,
I'm not even
especially if
talking
you're
about
not
just
setting
gender.
time aside, right? Like most
Yes.
of us, 90% of our days is surrounded around our family.
Yep.
And so unless you're taking that time out to with the men's group or just a couple of buddies,
Yeah,
it's really hard to connect on that level if everything's done on the phone, text message, or not at all, right?
exactly. Yeah, and so it's, even when it's like campfire out in the backyard,
Mhm.
like one of the little gas guys. I'm looking for one of those right now. I'm like, it's
Yeah.
time. I'm gonna get a gas fire pit just so I can turn it
Nice.
on and off when I need to. Just a quick
Perfect.
trip where we can enjoy it. But um it's like a social lubricant,
Mhm.
You're not, because guys, we generally tend to be more like shoulder to shoulder, not eye to eye, like when
Mhm.
that's just like a posture thing, from what I've been told,
Mhm.
and so you're sitting and you're just staring into the flames, but you are it just it like you said, it slows everything down and it separates everything else,
Mhm.
and so you can think a little clearer, but then you
Mhm.
also it gives you the moment because 'cause you're in, generally speaking, in that framework, you're in a more quiet space.
Yes.
So, whether you're solo or just to clear the mind or you're with community with other
Mhm.
guys, it's a gift.
It
I
is.
I usually, generally speaking, and so, yeah, and there's some like obviously pros and cons, right? These days we have technology. Like I said, you got the propane, just pop it on, you're good to go. Nobody in the house is upset at you because you come walking in smelling like smoke. But then there's
Mhm.
also the beauty of that campfire smoke smell. Some
This
of
yeah.
my buddies, I didn't realize this. Like half my buddies are like, I can't stand the smell. Like I don't want to, it's like I don't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
Which I get, yeah, then you gotta, like, change or whatever, but at the same time, I'm like, "Oh, it's just like you're seasoned," you know?
There you go. I
Like,
like that. Like a good steak, right?
yeah,
Seasoning.
exactly. So, there's some magic in that too, so,
Mhm.
and then stoking the flames, you gotta kinda, like, work at it. It's an art.
It
There's
is.
a there's a you could romanticize that a bit and, um, make that a special thing. So, anywho,
It's a ritual,
um
right? It becomes a ritual. So,
yeah, yeah. Well, hey, if you're gonna make a campfire, let me ask you this: what's your go-to method? TP or log
ooh,
cabin?
I've done both.
Yeah.
Um, I would have to say log cabin because that's the first way I learned as a kid. So that's
Mm,
what we used to do in our fireplace was log cabin. And so that's the one I always did. But I was shown once I got to like camp age. I remember in elementary school, like we're talking like you disappear for 30 days, kind of a camp, right?
yeah.
And that's where I learned a lot of the outdoors men type stuff. And
30.
that's where I learned
That's
how to do
30
TP.
days.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Send you
So
off to camp.
exactly. Mom and dad
Yeah.
are going on vacation.
Yeah.
But yeah, camp, that's where I learned. But yeah, I would say log cabin. How about yourself? How are you setting up your
Log
fire?
cabin for sure. I usually
Mhm.
combo it. So I do the log cabin and I start that puppy and then I do a teepee on top of it,
Nice. Nice.
but I don't like the teepee as like a starter. It's too much. It lights up, but then it doesn't burn all evenly. Like, I want all
Yeah.
that stuff burnt, otherwise I get, like, all these chunks in there. Some
Not
guys
only
might
that,
be
I
like,
think the
"Hey, you're doing
log
it
ca
wrong."
yeah, I think the log cabin keeps the flicker flame alive a little bit better,
Yeah.
whereas I found with TP, it blows out a little bit easier,
Yep.
especially outdoors, like, if you're making campground fires,
Yeah.
it's easier to kind of coerce the log cabin, to burn pretty good, so
Yeah. Yeah. So, anywho, camp was great. I know you gotta get going, but, I will say
oh, yeah,
once again,
appreciate
an
that.
attest to the, not an attest, but, just, like, how much I hate drinking all this water is, I camp was great. I had a lot of great experiences out there, but one of the thing I did not have was, I we were heading off on a hike, and I was driving a bunch of guys, and so all of us are getting in the car, and everybody's heading out, and I'm like, "Oh, shoot, my water bottle's empty. I gotta fill it
I
up."
gotta fill it up.
The kitchen is way over there, but there's this spigot right here, and I was like, "It's the potable water spigot, it's probably fine, right?" And the guys in the truck were like, "I don't know, maybe, I don't know." And I was like, "Well, we'll find out, and I
Yep.
filled it up and I drank that bottle, and I got myself a Parasite, and
Oh,
I
nice. You got
was
a parting gift from the camp trip.
Yeah, I was up till 4 AM and, shaking like a leaf. I got a major fever and, had to go take a hot shower in the middle of the night. Thankfully, there were showers at this site, like, I was like
Oh my goodness.
it was bad. I slept in my car at the last few hours, and I went to the bathroom, 25 times. So, it was bad. Don't so
So
lesson of today is don't drink the potable water, at least in the
exactly.
Sierra Nevadas. Apparently, like, 50% of those sites have found parasites in them.
And it's not like Travis didn't already have an adversity to water consumption during 75 hard. This just,
Yep.
like, put it over the edge.
I got
But
a medical excuse from the boys the next day.
nice,
I was like, "Guys, I got a
nice.
parasite. I just wanna
I'm gonna pass.
request," like, "I've drank, like, 80 ounces today instead of the 128, but I'm gonna throw up if I drink anymore. Like, can
Yeah.
can we
I
get
think
a
we can
pack?"
nod our hat to that. Yeah, I
And
think
they
that's
were
fair.
like, "That's fair. That's fair. Parasite, we'll take it. That's fine."
We'll put that on the
So,
board for reasons that you're good. Yeah, yeah.
yep. So, yeah, guys, light yourself a campfire, get out there.
Please.
Um,
Schedule it.
it Yeah, get outside. I think that's another
Mhm.
attribute that's really important to this that makes it even
Yes,
better. So,
yes.
as per the usual, we are not professionals.
No, we're not gurus.
We are
We're just
just
2
2
dads
dads in
in real
real life.
life.